story was sparked by our very own Samantha Armitage. You see, she likes to shop. Big time. And here she is doing just that, caught in the act by our hidden cameras.
PVC.
Gee, we were busy. Seven was very busy this week, 7 News.
Now, while I know when to stop, it got us thinking about shopping addiction. In the US, it's a diagnosed disorder affecting at least 15 million people. So how can happy customers like me ensure we don't step over the line?
Well, for the answer, let's cross to the shopping capital of the world. Dr. April Benson is a psychologist who specialises in the treatment of compulsive buying. Good morning, April. She joins us now. Hi, April. What exactly is shopping addiction?
Good morning. Well, shopping addiction is a condition where you spend so much time, energy, and money shopping or buying that your life is being impaired in some significant way. The way we think about mostly is financially. People have serious credit card debt, they can't pay their bills, but there are other consequences as well. Sometimes people do poorly at work, they get fired because they've been browsing on the internet all day long. There's a lot of marital strife that comes from compulsive buying. There are personal development costs. People spend so much time, energy, and money shopping and buying that they don't spend that time and energy in civic engagement, in relationships, and sometimes their lives feel hollow and lack meaning. So there are a lot of different kinds of consequences.
April, describe the feeling that shoppers get. It is an addiction that shoppers get when they buy something.
Yes, it is an addiction, and some people describe a rush, the same kind of rush that they get from alcohol or drugs, and studies of the brain show us that the same parts of the brain light up in anticipation of a purchase.
Wow, so we're talking an addiction here.
Soon thereafter, though, yes, and soon thereafter, people's moods dip well below what they were before they did the buying.
Can I just ask,
in order to prop up their...
Yeah, is this different to retail therapy? Are we talking differently to retail therapy? Because people like to go out and buy a shirt and buy a dress and make themselves feel good at the end of a heavy week. But is this different?
Oh, significantly different. The costs are much, much higher. I've worked with people who were facing 5 years in prison because to feed their shopping addiction, they used their company credit card. Suicide has been linked to debt. Divorce is very common when there's a compulsive buying disorder in the house. Yes, it's much, much more than giving yourself an occasional lift.
April, how big a role does advertising play in feeding this addiction, do you think?
I think it's very significant because in order for us to make profit, we have to create in the consumer a desire for something that he or she doesn't need.
So what do we do to stop compulsive shopping?
Well, I think one of the first things is when you have an urge to shop, you really need to think about, why am I here and how do I feel? Have I had a fight with my boss or my spouse? Am I feeling lonely or bored? And then I think it's important to ask oneself, do I need this? You know, there's a big difference between wants and needs. And I think we often say that we need something when we really just want it. And then I think it's important to ask ourselves, what if I wait? Am I going to want this the same next week? And I think waiting and creating some distance between the impulse and the action is really significant. And then to ask ourselves, how will I pay for it? And finally, where will I put it? Is there room to give a home to this new item? Some of us buy so much that there's just no room in our houses anymore. We leave things in the bags often with the tags on, because it's really often more about the moment of purchase than the actual object, although that is highly variable.
Yeah, they're great questions, April. I really like those, especially the do I really need this
yes,
one?
Exactly.
I think that applies a lot. Dr. April Benson, thanks very much for your time today.
April Benson then. Now, I was jotting down notes, so you can take this little list with you next time you go shopping and we catch you on a hidden camera. I want you to, why am I here? Do I need this?
I would just like to say that my spending habits have no relation to higher interest rates in this country at the moment.